alive, welcome to the doctor's kitchen. It is the other extreme. It's not the morning, it is 11 p.m. I've just got back from, from work. After work I went to an event, Just Breathe London. If you haven't heard of it, go check it out. Michael James Wong has started something awesome with his community of peeps. I was going to get a takeaway, but I thought no, I've got a few bits and bobs. So this is literally as live as you can imagine it will ever be. I'm absolutely starving. I never eat this late if I can help it, but sometimes life doesn't go to plan. So I've just got 2 hot pans here and I'm going to walk you through it. I've just bought some water. I'm going to put this on straight away. This is going to have some of my pasta. Today I'm using this pea pasta, which is really interesting, particularly if you're gluten-free for whatever reason. Pea pasta has a lot of protein as well as fibre in. It's awesome. Hi Wendy, how's it going? It's actually got, let's read it out for you. 10% is fibre, no hold on. 5% is fibre, 10% is protein, and 24% is carbohydrates. So it's actually very good for you. Obviously I don't rely on just pastas all the time because it's easy to fall in bad habits like that. This is probably going to take about 6 minutes, so I'm probably putting about a handful of pea pasta. It's probably about 175 grams, I'd say, that's going in there. This is also going to be, oh, I haven't turned this on. It's going to slow everything down. Whilst that is cooking away, we're going to get on with our pasta sort of, I don't know what I'm going to call it. It's going to have mushrooms in it. It's going to have some sun-dried tomatoes that I just picked up from the local deli. I've got some frozen peas that you should always have in your freezer because peas make a meal out of anything. They're full of protein, again fibre, really fantastic. You don't want to have something too high sugar right now, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I've also got some garlic as well. So like I said, I'm absolutely starving and I'm just going to quickly rustle something up and I'm just going to show you exactly how I do it. I last ate at about 3 p.m. when I was in clinic. I think I had my leftovers from the night before. It was just something like roasted butternut or whatever, and so obviously all I've had is just water the whole day, pretty much, in my breakfast. So I'm pretty hungry right now. I do try and keep to a fairly regular eating schedule if I can help it. The reason why is because there's lots of studies to show that the more regularly you eat, the better you're able to control your blood sugar. You don't have random spikes here now and then, and it's good for overall health. That's the aim of the game, really, is to try and control blood sugar. And there's lots of evidence to show that HbA1c, which is one of the measures that we use for how well your blood sugar is controlled over the last 2 to 3 months or so, is actually a very good marker of longevity, i.e. how long you're going to live a disease-free life. And that's what the Doctor's Kitchen is about, living disease-free. No, it's not all about that. It's about living healthy, happy lives. But anyway, we're going to go in with our garlic here, and I'm going to use a good quality extra virgin olive oil. I'm not putting on a very high heat, and I'm just going to use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of that as the pan warms up. And we want to gently fry the garlic in a little bit of salt as well. That will help with the frying process. I'm using just some smoked garlic, actually. Smoked garlic it's got like a little bit of a smoky flavour that goes through the skins and stuff, and it gives a lovely, a delicious sort of smokiness. You can just use simple garlic. You don't need to use that fancy pan stuff. So simple garlic will do. I've used 2 cloves. I've just roughly chopped them. As you can tell, I'm quite excitable right now because I'm super hungry. I'm literally the hungriest I've ever been whilst doing a live, so you can tell that right now. I'm using some sun-dried tomato. So this is the type of sun-dried tomato that isn't in extra virgin olive oil that you usually find in the supermarket. It's just dried. It's got wonderful flavour to it. It's going to impart that delicious Mediterranean, Italian flavour to our quick pasta sauce, I guess you can call this. But if you don't have sun-dried tomato, then you can easily use simple tomatoes. Baby tomatoes work well. And if you wanted to add a little bit of sweetness to it, a tiny bit of maple syrup or even some brown sugar as well will just add a little bit of sweetness that you really want. And the aim of the game isn't to just completely rid our food of sugar. We just need to heighten it and we use it where appropriate. So I think this is quite perfect to use a little bit of sun-dried tomatoes, got lovely sweetness. Now we're going to use button mushrooms. I picked these because it was probably one of the other things that they had in the store, and it's super cheap. It's full of B vitamins, and there's a little bit of protein as well in mushrooms. They're delicious elements to our diet. I use them in lots of different things. If you've seen one of my recent recipes, you'll notice that I made plant-based burgers with, I'm not plant-based, I know I make a lot of like vegetarian sorts of recipes, but I'm not 100% plant-based. Plant-based burgers using mushrooms, and they give a lovely umami flavour to it, as well as a little bit of a texture that's quite meaty. So I'm going to give these a bit of a wash. So my kitchen's a bit of a mess because I've literally just arrived back home and I haven't bothered to clean up before I do a live because I'm super hungry, if you can't tell. Okay, we're just gonna quickly, and this is where it makes you feel like a proper TV chef, because you can just quickly do that, you know, that lovely sound as well when you feel like you're chopping through, but just watch your fingers when you're doing this. I've got, I've invested a little bit in a knife actually. Actually, this is a Christmas present I got a couple of years ago. And if you do want to get a knife, I really encourage people to invest in a decent knife that you take good care of, because this is going to last you for life, really. I'm going to chop up about probably about, how many is that? Seven mushrooms. And the good thing about mushrooms is that A, they're full of nutrition, and B, they don't take too long to cook. So whilst these sun-dried tomatoes and the garlic are sautéing, we just need to chuck these in, swirl them around the pan for about 2 to 3 minutes, and they'll be lovely and cooked, and not overcooked as well, not soggy. No one wants soggy mushrooms. Okay, let me just mix this around with where's my thing gone? You can tell this is Uber Live. Oh, here goes my stream. Okay, I'm going to put this around here. Oh, I've got some pepper. Let's get some pepper going. A little bit of pepper. And we're going to put a little bit of red chilli for a little bit of kick. Vitamin C brings everything else together. Mix this around. Okay, so the garlic has a little bit of brown to it, and the sun-dried tomatoes are browning up lovely as well. This is nearly done. That's all come together in a second. In go the mushrooms. And goes there, and we're just going to turn this up a little bit so everything's going to move a little bit better. Okay. Oh, one bit I did not chop up. Okay, let's put that in. Okay, good. What are we on? We are on 6 minutes. Literally only a couple of minutes to go. And the other thing about pasta, you don't need to use pea pasta. You can use whole grain pasta. That's absolutely fine. I try to minimise the amount of pasta, actual pasta that I use, in place of using more wholesome ingredients. So that's things where you're going to get loads of fibre. So that's things like peas, that's things like mushrooms, all the different sorts of veggies you can put in this. If you didn't have peas, you wouldn't have to use peas. You could use things like artichokes that you find in little glass jars that you can chop up. You can use different sorts of greens like kale and cavolo nero. This is browning up lovely, by the way. I'm really hungry. Okay, I'm going to try one of these little peas to see if this is going in. I'll teach you a little bit of a trick when it comes to pasta making. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. Really good. Okay. So move this around. So our mushrooms are pretty much cooked now. We're going to go in with our peas. Are only going to take peas are only going to take a second. Let me just put this up there. Going to go in with about a handful of peas. The good thing about frozen peas is that they retain a lot of their nutritional value despite being frozen. And a lot of people like have a bit of a a thing about frozen food, oh, it's not fresh, oh, it doesn't have the same nutrients. It contains quite a few of the nutrients actually that are instilled with it from when they're first harvested. I'm going to turn this down. And then I'm just going to pop in the pasta. Oh, my sister's just walked in through the door. I'm going to put in a bit of the pasta with a little bit of the water. And what that is going to create is a little bit of sauce, which is what we want for this pasta dish. And my sister's come in, perfect timing because the food's ready. And she's hungry. Let me put this on the big pan here. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. Alright, I'll turn this one off. And this is literally our pasta ready, essentially. I'm just going to boil it off for about 60 seconds. It'll probably need a little bit more seasoning. There we go. And a little bit of black pepper. And we're probably going to go a tiny bit more chili because I love my chili. And if I did have some Parmesan cheese or some cheddar or a little bit to finish it off, then that's when I'd put a little drizzling of some Parmesan cheese here just to bring it all together. But this is just going to be absolutely smashing right now. I mean, to be honest, I would eat anything at this state, but this is going to be absolutely lovely. We've got mushrooms, we've got sun-dried tomato, we've got all those different chili flavours, got the smoked garlic as well, and that has literally taken 10 minutes. 10 minutes, people. It saved me a takeaway using some of the bits and bobs ingredients that I've had here. I'm going to pour this in here. Man, I wish I had some Parmesan, because Parmesan on this would be absolutely smashing. Night pasta feast with pea pasta, green peas that are frozen, some sun-dried tomatoes, brown mushrooms and smoked garlic. Imagine that I'm putting Parmesan all over it right now because I think it would be great. If you don't eat cheese for whatever reason or dairy products, then use nutritional yeast that will give that same umami flavour. I really hope you like watching this. I'm going to talk for too much longer because I am starving, and I will see you guys another time. Take care.
Happy, spinning, clapping, laughing, dancing in the blackness of magic. Get it, have it, bag it, throw yourself on the air.